Naxx is right around the corner, and if you've been sleeping on gold farming, now is the time to wake up. We're talking massive payouts coming in the next few weeks, and today I'm going to show you 4 insane gold farms that'll help you stockpile gold before Naxx drops, and to prep yourself for TBC. Whether you're prepping for frost and shadow protection potions, or just looking to cash in on high demand materials, these farms are easy, soloable, and seriously profitable. First up, we've got the Scarlet Monastery Herb Run. You're going to be farming Gravemoss and Fadeleaf, the key components for Shadow Oil. You need 4 of each, which is used for greater shadow protection potions. And even if you were to use just regular shadow protection potions, Gravemoss is also used in that. Planning to raid Naxx? You already know you're popping 1 to 2 shadow pots per run minimum. Some bosses, those mechanics really hurt, and adding a greater shadow protection potion really can help bridge the gap. So whether you're stocking for yourself or the auction house, these herbs are about to skyrocket in value because the supply will go crazy. Farm them now while it's quiet. It's really, really easy. The route is super, super simple. I always start from left and work my way over to the right, so that way when I'm finished, I can go straight through. Technically, there's no Gravemoss in Cathedral, but I pop in there just for Goldthorn. It's just an added bonus, and might as well because we already hit the lockout. These runs only take about 4 minutes, so those are just bonus herbs. We're really focusing on the Gravemoss. If you really feel like it and you just want to AFK right away when you're done, you could completely skip Cathedral. I would not skip Armory, because Armory, there is Fadeleaf in Armory. There's a few chests. I find them always in Armory, either in the first room or the second room. And then I also find a chest in Graveyard. They are worth opening up. There is a chance you find a blue, and with it this late in the server, twinks are a very popular thing, so those blues and such do sell pretty well. But yeah, overall, very chill farm. Probably takes no more than about 4 minutes a run, and like I said, you can skip out on Cathedral. Easy soloable. I don't even think you need to be 60 really to do this. Probably 50 and you'd be able to do this farm. So you could do this on alts, not even mains. I just tend to do this on my 1 warrior when I'm bored and when I'm in the area, like up in Undercity. It's something that I just like AFK normally, because I'll just do this quick and then I'll go about like whatever's going on. So to pick Gravemoss, you only need 120, but it's Fadeleaf that's going to hit you, and that's going to be 160 herbalism. Very easily obtained before 60, and you can expect these herbs to double as well come Naxx. But yeah, that's going to be our hard requirement for this first farm. Our second farm is actually going to Dire Mall East. It's a place we've been to before. If you haven't seen my first video, you can go ahead and check it out. That's how you duo it with a healer. Now this is just going to be a solo herb farm, so it's going to be slightly different. You could follow this and do the duo farm with a partner, or even dolo, meaning you yourself have another account with a healer on it that does the herbing. So I can kind of walk through the path, but real quick, I'll explain why we're going to be doing this. Because there was a recent change where like certain herbs, Dreamfoil, Gromsblood, Golden Samson, Ice Cap, all of them had a chance to drop Black Lotus. Dreamfoil is still going to be such a very useful herb going into Naxx, but the chance that it has a Black Lotus to drop on top of it is just an added bonus, and it makes it a exceptionally chilled 25-minute gold farm where you could range anywhere from a couple hundred gold to very, very lucky of 500 gold in an hour. I'm not kidding you when I say this. I've had epics drop from here before, plenty of them. I have viewers that have gotten very expensive epics from this place. This place is a gold mine. It's probably single-handedly what has like made me survive on Night Slayer. Black Lotus goes for roughly 80 to 100 gold. Normally I'd probably only farm for a day or two a week, maybe an hour or two each day, and I'd walk away with a nice chunk of money, and the added Black Lotus was always really nice. These obviously are mostly used in flasks, the Lotus, but Gromsblood and Dreamfoil are used in other items as well. Gromsblood is used in flask as well as it's used in offensive potions. Dreamfoil is used in defensive potions, as in protection potions. It's used in Greater Shadow and Greater Frost protection potion. Both, again, extremely useful and extremely necessary for Naxx fights. Like Saffron, you'll be chogging frost pots like water. This stuff's gonna fly off the auction house, so I would stack it now as well to sell later. The route for Dire Maul East is extremely simple, actually. Now, if you have one of the mugs, the filled festive mugs, you're in luck because you don't even have to worry about this first part about taking all this damage. Because basically all you need to do is drop down and either aim for the small tree branch or the small rock below. You take about 70% of your health. So make sure you always have 70% health. Otherwise, you're going to die. And the route is really simple. I always check the bottom left, go around the left side, walk my way through it. Obviously, you want to look out for the Warpwood Guardians and the Stompers. They're really annoying. Just be away from them. Watch out for the little Warp Pods, too, because they do have roots. They also spawn mobs. Again, most of the time, as long as you're in front of them or to the side, you cannot aggro them and completely walk on. And as a warrior, if I have to, I normally either pop like Diamond Flask with the Maces, or, I'm not even kidding you, I probably just fear the mob away, grab the herb, and die naked. Now, dying naked is actually a strat, because if I'm not going any further in the instance, the idea is that I'm resetting. I just want to grab the herbs and I want to go. This is why I like doing it, because it's like 15, 16 minutes total to run all 5, and then I'm out. Like, legitimately, it probably takes about 3 to 4 minutes a run. And by getting naked, obviously, I take no durability damage when I'm resetting. Reset the instance and run back. It takes about 2 minutes to run back. There is a slightly faster path if you were to walk up the back side, and there is a tree with a concave area that is technically the wall. You walk up that side of the wall and walk straight, and then follow along. You take your left, and on your way to Dire Maul East you go again. It's a very simple farm to do, although the hard requirement here is 300. You need 300 herb to get the Black Lotus. Now, on the PvP server on Night Slayer, the herbs are actually really low priced right now. They're like 50 silver a piece. They're really, really low priced. Obviously, they're going to go up in price due to the fact that Naxx is going to be coming out. But the Lotus is the real seller on the PvP servers. On PvE servers, however, I'm noticing a trend where Dreamfoil is almost 3 gold a pop already. So just take with that information what you will. Maybe this farm isn't worth it because it relies on the Black Lotus for you specifically. I will say my character is on Night Slayer and I've not had issues at all maintaining speed running on a warrior. I flask every week. I pop it all basically every week. I make sure I'm fully buffed, and I make sure I don't run out of consumables, even if I was to die once or twice. So I make sure I have about 5 of everything. But there is just more potential to make more money on other servers, because on PvE, the herbs themselves will be worth more. The Lotus is only worth like 20 to 30 gold. But the herbs are going to be more in demand come Naxx anyways. So it's good to farm it now and maybe save some of it to sell for later. This is a personal favorite of mine. I actually do this on stream sometimes. I farm the Mard and the Rock Elementals. Instead of doing it out in the open world where you've got to deal with like person after person, bot after bot, I decide to go to Marden and use my Scepter of the Celebris. You skip right basically smack dab to the waterfall area, and you can farm Elemental Earth there. There's 7 packs, I believe, that you can hit. And there's a trick that you want to be doing for this, so that way the reset's really easy. You're going to want to make sure that you're either grouped with another account that you have, or whisper a buddy, have them group you with your main, so that way every time you log out, after about 1 to 2 minutes, you wait for the group to swap over to you, and then you reset. There's a little sneaky ledge near Princess that you want to like log out on. And then obviously, like I said, you just wait the 2 minutes, reset the instance, swap over to your main. It takes 2 minutes to run back from the graveyard and rinse and repeat. Why do you do this? Because the Elemental Earth is used in Greater Nature Protection Pots, which are useful really like right now. And they're still going to be useful in Naxx. And Elemental Sharpening Stones. And if you're Alliance, you know you put 2 of them puppies on. Versus Horde, who just uses 1. Right now, they're pushing at least 6 to 7 gold a pop. But when Naxx hits, this can easily push over the double-digit number. The run is extremely simple. I'm not going to have a guide on how to get the Scepter of Celebris. You didn't do it while leveling. I'm sure there's a video that I'll probably pop in the description below. Now, again, what we're really farming here is the earth elementals. But if you have mining and if you have herbalism, there are nodes to pick up. There's plenty of mithril to be spotted. I've even spotted gold, and I've also spotted true silver. And as an herbalist, there's ghost mushrooms, which actually are pretty useful and sell quite well. And also, there's blindweed. Again, something that's just a bonus, but not necessary if you don't want to pick it up and you're just after the earth elementals. Although picking up the herbs and stuff's gonna increase your run time. On average, these runs take about 13 to 16 minutes. And every first and third run, I also pop my nifty stopwatch just in between packs just to make it a little bit faster. Not a necessary item to have. It saves all of 10 seconds in some runs. Upon entering the waterfall, if you hang a little bit right, you could find a blindweed spot. And then kind of coming across again, you can find potentially another blindweed far off to the left. And then there's one that spawns normally right in between the hydras that are patrolling around. Obviously, again, if you don't have herb, this is like one of the farms that you actually aren't required to have any profession at all. This could just be kill the elementals and bounce. But your first pack of elementals you're going to walk up into after the second little dino packs, the little subterranean Dimetrodons. You can either wait until it patrols all the way through both, or you can hit them in the middle. I'm going to say it. Might as well try to hit it in the middle, but if you're afraid you're going to pull the dino packs, do pull a dino pack, and your warrior just pop retail and just pray you do some damage. I ended up getting away with it here myself, but not every time is that going to happen. After we cleared that first pack, you can just kind of walk on to the side, hugging the left of the wall in between the little pod plant and the shrubbery, and you shouldn't aggro. As long as you're max level, you shouldn't aggro any of the little dino packs. Again, if you're not an herbalist, you can skip these, but there's going to normally be like there has a chance to be a herb spawn, a blindweed spawn on the dino pack to the right here. Again, skip it if you must. Then we're going to hang a right. We're going to start right first. There should be 3 packs of the wandering elementals in this room specifically. 2 as we're walking down, and then 1 potentially patrolling in between. And we're just going to take care of them as we normally would. They're really straightforward and really simple. You don't have to do anything too crazy. I like using trinkets like Earth Strike. I also use Diamond Flask occasionally, but I normally save Diamond Flask if I do the big boss. There is a rock boss that you can kill for a chance at another elemental earth. And when I do kill that boss, I find trying to pull the patrolling shardlings and popping a Diamond Flask set with like not a crazy amount of healing power, maybe somewhere in the 300 to 400s, is enough to keep me alive. Getting back to the route, we're going to kill the mob that's in between, potentially. This could be a patrolling mob that either patrols onto the bridge or is in the next room. We're going to kill that mob, and then there's one more pack beside that, and then we're going to actually make our way back through where we just came. This is where either the nifty stopwatch or rocket boots would come in handy, although I wouldn't recommend the rocket boots as we lost a pair yesterday to that, so I've got to go get 2 more pairs for the raid this upcoming week. After you make your way back through, going to basically where we turned right into, we're going to keep going straight, and that's where we're going to deviate to the right to kill the pack and the rock boss. If you're lucky, you can pull them together. If not, just kill the lower pack, then kill the rock boss itself. Then we're going to make our way back down again and head toward Princess. There'll be 1 more rock spawn to take care of. You can split the difference of the big rock giants. You can split right down the middle of them and not pull aggro. And as soon as we finish, we just hop on the rock, log out, go on to the alt, and rinse and repeat. Now, something that a lot of people may wonder, I actually went into this the other day with like the most disgusting like half raid shit in my bags. So one of the things that I do suggest using is an add-on called Dejunk. You can set up a keybind that opens up a menu, and then you can also set up a keybind to click on things that you dictate as junk. So you can pick up a lot of the worthless stuff. I normally delete stuff up until it costs about 50 silver in vendor value. until then, I don't really touch it. If my bags are really, really borked and I'm trying to loot and there's greens or blues, then yeah, obviously I'm going to do it. This farm's made me a lot of gold. And even the other day, I think I only did it for like an hour and a half technically on stream, and I made over 300 gold. Some of the prices on the Kiwi farm aren't like 100% accurate because I haven't checked the auction house in like a day or two on this tune specifically. And sometimes it gets out of sync with the EU auction house and that week aura. So when I play two regions, it kind of messes with stuff. So the Kiwi farm isn't always up to date until I go in and adjust it at the end, which in this video, it's just actually a Twitch stream. I didn't officially update it after it's said and done. But I can look at my bank, or I can look at my bag, and I can tell you that I got like 400 gold from yesterday just doing like an hour and a half to 2 hours of Marden. Most of the day, I was just chilling. It's such a brain-off farm, and that cave makes so much money. Again, ghost mushrooms, blindweed, mithril, gold, true silver. There's just so much that can come from the Marden cave, and the elemental earth is really our target. So might as well just hard target the elementals, get in, get out, reset, and crack on. Last up, we have an Ajara fishing spot that I recommended in a video not long ago, just fishing in the Bay of Storms. Nowadays, this is going to be excessively expensive. Now, what we're farming here specifically is the patches of elemental water. These patches drop elemental water, globes of water, and the big prize, essence of water. And you may be asking, what's the value? It's frost protection potions for the elemental water. You'll need them for Naxx, especially for fights like Saffron, when you're eating Blizzard for absolute days. If you're doing this farm, it helps to have the plus 20 fishing pole, the plus 100 bobber. Missing in one of these pools and getting the fish got away message is effectively losing money. I'm not kidding you. When I came out here at like 280, I used the 75 bobber, and I 4 times fish got away messaged myself, and all I could think about is how many essence of waters did I miss that were anywhere from 13 to 20 some gold? How many elemental waters that are 4 gold a pop did I miss? Do yourself a favor. If you're gonna level fishing, go level at Tanaris, hit 300, come back, either use your plus 20 fishing pole. The Horde has a plus 25. If you've won the Derby, there's another fishing pole there. Use your 100 bobber, max out your fishing skill. I've read online it's like 425 to not miss, so that also requires having an item if you're an Alliance character. So you're gonna have to win something from the fishing Derby. This is a farm that is way more beneficial to shamans and hunters. There's about 6 patches along the whole coastline, and as a hunter or a shaman with Eagle Eye and Farsight, going around and finding the patches of elemental water will save you so much more time than just swimming from spot to spot. Although I do this normally late at night or early in the morning, and I also do it AFK when I'm like also playing on like my NA account. So when it's later in the night at EU, and vice versa when I'm on earlier in the day on EU and it's early nighttime basically on NA. I have a very interesting sleep schedule. Don't worry about it. I bartend. There's a couple tips I'd like to also suggest for this farm. If you are not a hunter or a shaman, I recommend getting Noggin Fogger because it allows you to not breathe, and it also makes you smaller. So if you're on a PvP server, you're less likely to be seen. I mean, obviously you're going to be a red bar to somebody, but you're less likely to be seen potentially swimming in the water, and you're also swimming underwater and not worrying about your breath. Just a little tip. It does cost gold, obviously, but it is a convenience factor. You also do not want to die out here to dying of breath. It is such a long walk. Again, if I was to rate the usefulness of a spec, again, if I was to rate which class is best at this from best to worst, I would say hunter or shamans because they have water walking in the Farsight. Then I would say hunters, followed up closely by mages, druids with their swim form. Priests can technically go around looking through mobs, like doing the mind vision. They can go around looking through the mobs if they know the mob names and find the patches of elemental earth that way. So that is also useful as well. I would also say a mage because they have blink. And then after that, every other class is exactly the same. So those would be the top classes that it would utilize this farm. Obviously, layering is super useful here too. So I would suggest layering. If you're at like a weird far spot, layer there, try to get there. Try to go to all the spots, get to the weirdest spot, for you, layer there and then go back reverse that way. So that way you're checking effectively 12 patches, and that is a good probability you'll pull something. Again, one of my favorite farms that I've been using, and it's been like literally saving me, allowing me to raid with the minimal amount of time that I've had lately. Just throwing a couple hours into these farms, either of these farms, and that's the beautiful thing. I gave you guys a few options. Two, obviously, if you're an herbalist, just because herbalism is just so much more prevalent because of the Black Lotus change. There's more gold farms that I'd love to talk about, but for time's sake today, this is all we're going to be going over. All these farms are exceptional gold per hour. They do vary between the PvE and the PvP servers, but I can guarantee you they're all going to be over 100 plus gold an hour, potentially even pushing the 200 gold push an hour on average for most of these. And that really does go a long way when you have minimal time to play. Here's the truth. Naxx isn't that hard once you get it down, but it may take a while for you to get it down. A lot of guilds are going to be wiping, a lot. And guess what that means? More demand for materials, more people buying protection potions, and more opportunities for you to make gold. Start now, and you could have thousands of gold by launch week of Naxx. Continue through Naxx, and you could have yourself over 10,000 plus gold leading into the launch of TBC. Let me know in the comments what's your go-to gold farm in Classic and how Classic's been treating you lately. I'd love to hear your stories. Also, we stream regularly over on Twitch. Links in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe and join the Discord for more gold guides and updates as we get closer to the Burning Crusade release. I also have all of my UI elements in the Discord as well for everyone to copy, weak auras, add-ons, all that jazz. Thank you for watching. Good luck out there, and get that gold. And until next time, take care.